Another member of the top brass for the Atlanta VA Police Department has retired while under investigation. Police Chief Beverly Banks had been suspended with pay since May when the VA began investigating her department's troubled culture.
Then a recording emerged of Banks telling a staff meeting she no longer wanted to hire Black or Hispanic women, saying they come with, quote, a whole lot of attitude. The Fox 5 I-team broke the news of the investigation. Reporter Johnny Edwards is here now with the story on its conclusion. Johnny.
Russ and Courtney, that investigation included an allegation of sexual assault by Chief Banks' deputy chief. He faced no consequences from the VA because he retired in June. Well, now the ex-chief has retired too, and we're just learning tonight, according to the VA, she left because she was about to be fired.
I have been made to sound like I'm a beast. I'm just the worst beast ever.
That's the Atlanta VA Medical Center Police Department's former chief, Beverly Banks, this time last year, holding a department-wide meeting for officers to clear the air. This recording provided to the Fox 5 I-team by one of the participants.
We trying to change. Are y'all gonna try and change?
But 4 months later, Chief Banks would lose her badge and gun and be suspended with pay. The Veterans Administration bringing in a national team to investigate, quote, unacceptable behavior, including allegations of sexual assault and harassment. And then this emerged.
I am to the point, I don't want to hire Black women no more. I'm to that point.
A recording of Banks in an earlier September 2023 command staff meeting provided to the I-team by an officer in attendance, with Banks heard complaining about disputes between her officers.
I don't have no Hispanic women. Hell, I don't want them either. Because you know what comes with it? A whole lot of attitude, and I don't want it.
It's not clear what role, if any, that recording played in the VA's investigation. We know now that investigation is over. The VA telling the Fox 5 I-team in a statement, Ms. Banks retired while under investigation effective January 10th, explaining once an individual leaves federal service, they are no longer an employee for which the agency has jurisdiction. She's the second person wrapped up in the VA's investigation to retire before it ended. We reached the former chief by phone and she told us no comment. But one of her officers had a lot to say.
The hostile, toxic work environment wasn't good for myself.
David Bennett served with the department for 5 years, then quit last year after filing an internal EEO complaint against Banks, which is still pending, accusing Banks of disclosing confidential information about him to his supervisors during a morning meeting.
I think if you're not going to punish the individual, if you're going to just let them retire, at least allow that individual or say, hey, you need to make a formal apology to those officers and to the department for what you created.
Banks had taken over the Atlanta VA's police department in late 2022, inheriting an organization filled with complaints about favoritism and sexism.
You all don't understand what you have in me, and I'm so sorry that y'all don't.
There are other complaints against her and her department still pending. A year before Banks became chief, VA Internal Affairs examined the case of Shanika Jackson, a former dispatcher who accused the former deputy chief, Johnny McCullough, of exposing himself and groping her in his office.
I still suffer through daily panic attacks, anxiety.
Though the investigation came down on her side, Jackson lost her job while McCullough remained second in command. When Banks took over as chief, she kept McCullough in that position.
Deputy Chief McCullough, if you don't know how to talk to people, tell me now so I can do whatever I need to do to get you disciplined again.
The deputy chief had also been suspended with pay until he retired in June, also while still under investigation. It's not clear if Banks knew about the findings of that investigation when she kept McCullough in that position. In a breaking development on this, the VA told me just hours ago, Banks faced a corrective action that included a recommendation of removal in 30 days' time. The VA says she chose to retire before that time was up. The Atlanta VA's police department, now led by Renee Tuck, serving as acting chief. Russ, Courtney?
The chief's own words on tape are pretty shocking all by themselves. Now, we know about the allegations against the deputy chief. The officer's complaints against Chief Banks, what were they about?
Well, there was a lot of allegations flying all over the place. Now, Officer Bennett there claimed that she stated in a morning meeting that he had been involved in a different EEO case, which he felt compromised him with his supervisors. Other officers complained about things like retaliation, harsh language, unfair treatment. I mean, there was just a lot of drama in this department. And to be fair, some of it predated Chief Banks.
Yeah, those are serious accusations, and it sounds like it made for a very hostile place to work for a lot of the people in that department.
Right, especially in a police department.
Yeah. All right. Johnny, thanks.